Welcome back to Down the Track. Yet another good game between RCB and LSG. We have our host, our dost, Mustafa Ismail, down with some. It's not flu, I'm sure, and not COVID
Voice
also, but
voice
just had some
issues.
throat issues.
Yeah, voice
Uh,
issues.
and we have a guest, Vinay Hariharan, coming back from India. I don't know why he's back, but he's back. Vinay, how is the game? Were you following IPL back home in India?
I couldn't follow too much because I was busy. I was traveling and going different places and stuff, so I wasn't following that much. But glad to be back in Canada, and the timings definitely suit uh, since
You're
the
a weird
IPL is in
guy,
the
man.
morning.
It suits over there.
Exactly.
It's in the evening. It's in the evening. That's going out and going to different places. That's the time for IPL usually in India.
It's the
But
best
here
time to
it's
watch IPL. Anyways, how was the game? Any thoughts on today's game?
that innings from Fab to Plessis just was just magical. There was so much bounce that rest of the RCB batters were actually struggling with. So kudos to him to score 94 on this difficult pitch, and then definitely Hazelwood's spell changed the game for RCB. And you see the batting lineup; it's still seven down. You have Holder, so it's a strong batting lineup, and to defend this kind of score against them was actually commendable for RCB.
Absolutely. Mustafa, we've seen Virat being unlucky in the previous two games. Today, first ball, he gets out. But yes, the way Faf and Shabazz came in between and built that partnership. Uh, what do you think? Why is the top order not performing for RCB? And do you think Rawat would get another chance after this game?
Yeah, I think Kohli, it's playing in his head with his head. The form, it's nothing more than that. It's more of a mental game, and the runouts and stuff that you saw today. I mean, in the last two games, it's not a coincidence. I don't think it was a coincidence. He's just trying to get off stride, trying to get his runs. We have Don in the house.
What's
Not
up, boss?
you three talking when I lost my voice, but
ऐसा ही होता रातों में लेट लेट रखे तो
but yeah, so I think. Uh, but we talked about Faf yesterday, right? He doesn't need someone else. Like he can go through the gears, and today he did that. He started off a bit slow, whatever, but then he went through the gears, and he can set up the innings for you, and that's what he showed. In terms of the other two, I think with Rawat, maybe you can switch it. There's Patrida there, I think, but with Kohli, just have to keep backing him. There's no other option. Like Faf didn't perform in the last few games, but he came back. With Kohli, you have to just keep backing him, and I think they have a really good middle order. So you have to look at the positives in this kind of situation. You have Hazelwood as well. They had seasons where AB, Dilshan, Kohli, all these guys used to score 200, 220, and they still used to lose games. Now they're scoring 180, but they're winning games. So Hazelwood and they're bowling. Harshal Patel, I think Vinay mentioned off air as well. So I think that's more important. It's okay if the top order is not clicking as much, but as a team, if they're performing, if the bowlers are doing the job, I think they'll be more happy.
Don, coming to you, we saw that LSG got 2 wickets in the very first over, and then still scoring 50 runs in their power play, even though they lost the third wicket as well. What do you think went wrong with LSG plan throughout the first innings?
I think the first thing was to bring in Krunal at that time was a smart move. I think because gave him the license to he's by no means an Ashwin, because I feel like Ashwin bringing him I think he's a little bit better off as a batsman than Ashwin is, just to give him the license to just go out there and make the most of the power play. So that ploy worked, but overall I think they just kept consistently losing wickets. Every time a partnership was building, they lost wickets. So that was the big problem. The moment Pandya and KL were getting the partnership going, KL got out. Then Huda got out. Then Pandya got out. So every 2-3 overs they were losing a wicket. That was the biggest problem. And then they couldn't just get on the chase. And I think bowling, I have to put my hand up. RCB's bowling. I said that we were a little bit worried yesterday because they were Siraj was starting to look a little bit poor and stuff. I think they came out fantastically well. I think the fact that they have the likes of Maxwell, Shabazz coming to the party and bowling a fantastic spell this time, even though he didn't take wickets, he curbed the run flow. So then in the end, those runs were enough. So I think he did a fantastic job. So Punter will talk more about Shabazz, I'm sure, but I think overall, I think good performance overall by the team. Batting, bowling, fielding, everything was good for RCB.
Absolutely. Vinay, coming to the spin vision from both the teams, we saw Krunal and Bishnoi bowling in the first innings, not getting that much of turn. We saw Maxwell coming and bowling the second over itself, getting a lot of turn, and then Shahbaz continuing. And Hasaranga only getting 2 overs, not more than that. Kind of strange from RCB point of view. But what are your thoughts on the why there was so much difference in turn in the first innings and the second innings?
See, when you look at Krunal or Bishnoi, both are more of a wrist spinner than genuine spinners of the ball, right? They don't spin that much when they're bowling in tandem. When you compare to someone like a Maxwell or even Shabazz, they're more of a genuine spinners who actually turn the ball a lot. So there are different aspects of spin bowling itself that these two teams possess, and when you see the amount of turn that Maxwell got, it was much better in terms of like slowing the ball in the air and stuff, and that's what actually kept the run rate in check. When you bowl fast and if it's a flatter wicket, it's easier to hit. Of course, the LSG bowlers didn't bowl that badly or anything, but the bounce and everything they utilized. So each team played to their potential in terms of the spinning itself. But Hasranga, I think, didn't get a chance to raid the ball mainly because of the batters that were in LSG and the kind of batters that were batting at that point. I think it was better played to bring in someone like a Maxwell or Shabazz spinning the ball away from them.
Absolutely, I think Don had
I
this.
just wanted to add to that. I mean, Vinay can tell us more, but Bishnoi is he bowls the wrong one more than the leg spinner, so maybe it doesn't
Yeah,
turn as much. I think Vinay will know more, but I think the leg spinner will turn much more, so he doesn't bowl that as
yeah.
much. So maybe you saw that as well
He's
because
more of a wrist spinner. That's what I said, right? He's more
yes,
of a wrist spinner, so that's why he's not bowling that much spin itself in terms of like actual spinners bowling in tandem.
yeah,
Do you think he was bowling more quicker rather than flighting the ball?
yeah, he does that.
Bishnoi, yeah,
Yeah,
Bishnoi and Pandya both are susceptible to actually bowling much quicker rather than actually giving it loop.
Yeah.
absolutely. Musti, coming to the most important DRS taken by Faf today. We all thought it was strategic timeout, and then after that, we see KL is given out.
Walking off, yeah.
What do you think? What happened over there? Who told Faf? Is as it is a mystery over there. But why do you think Faf would have taken that call?
Um, let's just say RCB picked the right captain this season. Like, he picked the right captain. I don't know exactly what happened. People at the ground can tell us more. I'll do some research on it, but that was crazy call, man. I think they just went with the bowler, and yeah, he just went with his instinct. And
DK did not appeal for that ball.
he didn't.
Yeah,
Harshal Patel was half-hearted appealing, and someone from somewhere just went to Faf, or Faf himself just came from
I
nowhere
think
and
it was
said,
Harshal Patel. I saw his reaction after they showed him the replay. Like he kept telling him like it's I think he nicked it. I think he nicked it, and he went for it.
"Yeah,
And like I wouldn't say genius captaincy, but you have to take these calls, and when it goes in your favor, it goes in your favor. But one thing I would say about Faf is he's keeping his calm. This kind of equation RCB always lose in recent years. When it's like 80 of 50, 70 of 40, they kind of lose these kind of games. But he kept his calm. His bowlers did a really good job. Hazlewood, Harshal Patel, and yeah, field placements were really good as well, I felt. And it's good to see him use his experience. And I also like how Kohli's also like showing his passion and stuff on the field. He's not acting like he's not involved. He's involved as well, but he's letting Faf make the decisions. Unlike other teams, we see like the old captain still making decisions. Don.
I had just a quick point to add over there. I think Dinesh Karthik has been a fantastic batsman. I think he's been a revelation this season for RCB. But I think his wicket keeping appealing skills have need a little bit of a question, because when there was a nick for
that's
KL Rahul, he
stumping.
didn't
Yeah.
have, and that stumping is clearly inside by like a fair margin.
yeah."
And he made Shabazz so excited, and Shabazz thought he got a wicket and everything. So there was a question mark over there. That's the only thing I'll criticize the DK for now. But just jokes aside, I think he's been fantastic for them.
Yeah.
Don, I have a very technical question regarding DRS. We've seen umpires not signaling leg by or giving wide, waiting for the captain to give a DRS review or take the review after 12 seconds. But most of the time, we've seen leg buys are given after the 12 seconds,
Yeah.
but wides are usually
Right
given
away.
way before.
Yeah.
So, do you think that there is a disadvantage or advantage even for the captain during this span of period?
Yeah, I think with a wide, I think it's usually even the bowlers sometimes just try to appeal for no reason to try to avoid giving the wide. So I think it's a two-way street with the
Yeah.
wides. But I think with the leg buys, it makes sense because if the umpire feels that it's only a leg buy, then he doesn't want to give that LBW option. He doesn't want that option to go away. So it's a for the wides, I think it's a two-way street, and for the leg buys, I think it's a smart move to wait to that 12, 15 seconds or whatever that DRS stipulation is before giving that decision. It's wise to do that.
Perfect. So, Vinay, who was the player of the match for you?
I think it's a tie between both Duplessis and Hazelwood because both were contributing so well for their team. That innings 94 wasn't easy, at least on this wicket, and Hazelwood bowling that spell, bringing it back for RCB. Both were, I think, game changers for the game.
But if you have to choose one, then
I think it's still a tie for me because both of those were actually
it was nice having you on the show.
easy.
Is it true that Faf has never scored an IPL century?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane. I can't think of it like that. It
He's-
just doesn't feel
It
right.
was the second time he got out in the 90s.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
it's
what I
just-
think. I was reading something and I was like, I just assumed he had a century because of the way he plays.
True.
A lot of 90s.
A lot of 90s, 80s and 90s, I think. Yeah.
Don, your player of the match?
I think I'll give it to Josh only because RCB's bowling has been susceptible in the past, and just taking that history, it's unfair to bring in history in for a man of the match award. But I think just because RCB, like Musti said, they always in these situations have lost in the past, but to be able to bring in and pick up 4 important wickets, he broke the back initially, a couple of wickets early on. With QDK and Manish Pandey, and then to finish it off in the end with dead bowlers as well. Stoinis could have taken it away. To pick Stoinis' wicket was very important, I think. Even though it was so tight in the end, I think Stoinis couple sixes and Stoinis had the game.
What did you guys think about the wide? The wide
That was
call?
a definite one.
That was
That was a
You saw
shocker.
the frustration next ball. He swore like
That was the turning point of the game. I guess.
I think that I completely agree. Even though Harshal had a very good over before that, I think that was the turning point. Not giving that wide, getting in his head.
yeah.
Absolutely. And we even heard Josh like running back to his mark, not waiting for the umpire to even change his decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, Musti, your player of the match?
I'm your substitute today, right? So Krunal Pandya. Done. These were all
Agreed.
it's right.
Agreed. That's something I would.
Krunal Pandya.
I would.
Well, I would give it to Shahbaz Ahmed because
Of course you would. Of course you would.
and,
Why am I not
the way he
surprised?
bowled today. So for me, it's Shahbaz Ahmed. Okay, before we move on, any last thoughts of today's game, or shall we move to the next game?
Yeah, once again, Shahbaz Ahmed 4 overs, 25 runs, 0 wickets. Josh Hazlewood 4 overs, 25 runs, 4 wickets.
So we know who
Shahbaz
is.
Ahmed. A youngster who
Shahbaz.
finally got his full quota, bowled brilliantly in the middle overs when they were looking to hit him for sixes. He got hit for a six, and he came back with 4 dots after that 6.
Yeah.
So it's something you don't expect from a youngster. More often, you don't even see that. It's like Josh is someone who's already
You
at
don't
his
see
peak.
you take that word back right now.
Why?
Umran Malik. You don't see Umran Malik. He's a
Oh,
youngster.
100%. I love Umran.
No, I'm just pulling it. Like, it's good to have a different opinion. I try to go very different as well, but yeah.
Bro, youngster Bore is 28 years old.
Who?
Shahbaz Ahmed.
Yeah.
I just checked. I felt like I've seen him for a few years in the military.
Bro, he actually looks like a 19-year-old kid, man.
I know. I was also surprised. I'm just looking. It's quite interesting. So
Damn.
this year he'll be 28. He's 27 and a half now. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay, Don,
quite an
coming
age.
to tomorrow, DC versus Punjab. We're not sure that if the game is going to happen. And recently read somewhere that if the game is going to happen, it will happen in Mumbai rather than Pune.
Yeah.
Let's just consider the game is going to happen. Your thoughts on tomorrow's game? DC not performing up to their level, and Punjab also losing the last game. What do you think? Very crucial game for both of the teams.
Yeah, I think both teams are on 4 points now. I think it's a very important game for both of them, But I feel like Punjab have shown a brand of cricket that they can develop on. I think that they've shown that they are a good side. They will play that kind of brash cricket. It's more like the Ian Morgan style. They will lose a few, but they will always be at this extreme aggressive kind of cricket brand of cricket. I quite like that. It's a different style, and it's a style that suits someone like a Punjab. So they go more with that. DC, they've had 2-3 very good seasons, but I feel like this season they've just kind of spray it all over the park. They haven't really figured out their formidable 11 yet. It's already been 5-6 games, but they bowling has looked a little weaker. Usually you expect more from this Delhi side, and then I feel like coming from a Avesh, Rabada, Nokia to suddenly now none of those three in the team now. Even Nokia is not playing, so you have completely different in phase. Shardul, they've found it hard to settle that down. Akshar Patel is probably the only kind of retention that they have so far in the bowling unit, and the batting has also after the starts that they're getting, they're not able to convert that. So I think DC has more problems. And to add to that, now with all this COVID drama that is going on with them, it's just too many things to play for them. I think that's why I feel like Punjab might have a little bit of an upper hand for tomorrow's game.
Okay. Vinay, coming to you, I don't know if you're still a DC fan because they're losing. Maybe you moved to Chennai also. No, not only in Chennai because Chennai is also losing. So maybe you moved to maybe a new team like Gujarat Titans. So Delhi, obviously, the Mishmash won't be playing tomorrow. We saw Saifit showing some glimpses in the start of the series, but then was dropped because Warner came in. Do you think he'll get a chance tomorrow, or would you play someone else?
I think they should bring in Tim Seifert, and since Robin Powell is also not performing that well, they should bring in someone like a Seifert to actually strengthen the batting unit itself. And I think it'll be because it's playing in Mumbai, and this pitch is comparatively a little slower compared to the other pitches. I think it'll play to their strength in terms of at least bowling. Batting, they definitely have to click well. And Punjab being the team that actually goes with the pace much, I think it'll be a good contest where I think DC might have a upper hand in terms of just the bowling aspect of it.
Quick question. Instead of a Seifert, would you consider someone like a Yash Dul? Because the season is kind of slipping away. Just bring in a youngster. He's also fresh confidence from the World Cup. Captain of the Under-19 World Cup. Just bring him in, give him a shot. He's a proper opening batsman. Sorry, upper order batsman. The top order batsman kind of. Would that be a consideration?
It should be in the team management perspective, but I don't know at this point whether they trust the youngster enough to, because the team is not doing that well. If it was doing a little bit better, I think they would have tried more options. At this point, they're trying to get that formidable 11, so I don't think they'll do much experiments rather than bringing someone of a youngster or someone coming in for any experienced batters at this point.
According to me, it's a good shout though. I would play Seifert in place of Powell, and I would play Yash Dul in place of Mishmash. Because I think you can give him the license to go, and if he performs for you, it'll be good for Delhi as well to find a number one down batsman. So I feel it's a good shout. Hopefully, we see him play tomorrow. Musti, we've seen in the past few games all the ex-players performing against their ex-teams. Tomorrow, Rabada bowling to DC. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a fiery spell. I think he's gonna bowl well, and they're gonna not regret, but I think he's gonna make them miss him tomorrow. He's gonna bowl pretty well, but at the same time, I think if I just look at the game, both teams been on and off. With Delhi, it's again particular positions. Number 3 has been an issue. Number 5, 6 has been an issue. I think they're missing a Hetmeyer. They're missing a one down kind of play like a Shreyas Iyer. So those are the gaps they're trying to plug. And then Don mentioned the bowling. It's a completely different bowling attack, so it's going to take some time. For Punjab, they play aggressive cricket, so you'll always be entertained. But at the same time, they do have some mature players who will have to take the responsibility, like a Dhawan. If Mayank plays, then Mayank as well. They have to take the responsibility and bat through. And if you see the Sunrisers game, if Punjab just showed a bit more maturity, they could have won that game if they scored another 30-40 runs and put Hyderabad under pressure. So that's something that they'll have to look at. You can attack, it's entertaining, but sometimes you do have the mature players. It's not like it's just a young team, right? You have the one there and stuff. And I would like to see Rajapaksa and the team who can give you that extra push.
For Johnny?
Him or the Odin Smith can get an Indian bowler. could do either one.
I agree with Musi. I think Rajapaksa can come in instead of Odin Smith, and they can get Sandeep Sharma instead of either Jitesh or Shah Rukh Khan.
Then you don't need your openers to go bang bang. You can play
Absolutely.
like Sunrisers are playing, because Tripathi comes, he strikes at like 200, right? Like 180, 190. So I think that's something that they can do. Rajapaksa can strike at 300 also. So if they're a bit more cautious at the start, then someone like him can come and capitalize. And then they need a number 4-5 anchor as well, who can, someone like a Bairstow. Even Livingstone is doing a really good job, but like someone like a Bairstow who can also stay and support as well.
Absolutely. Don, your player to watch out for tomorrow?
Liam Livingston, I mean, I can't look past him. I think he's just been so good with the bat for Punjab, even though they have been struggling to get some wins under the belt. But I think he himself individually has been performing fantastically. I think he just needs the support, and I think Rajapaksa is a good shout, because if you have Johnny on one side and Rajapaksa on the other side, it gives you a little bit more freedom to go all guns blazing, and that's the kind of brand of cricket that they want. They have been playing, so it's a very good shout. From DC's perspective, I think Rishabh Pant, I think he's been quiet this season for them. He is their talisman, their captain. I think he needs to step up and lead from the front if they want to turn the season around.
Absolutely. Vinay, your player to watch out for tomorrow?
Kuldeep Yadav, he's been having an amazing season.
Yeah.
So, and
Good
being a
shout.
slow pitch, I think he'll do wonders in this pitch.
Talking like a true spinner. Musti, your thoughts on tomorrow? Who will be the player of the match?
From Punjab, if he plays Rajapaksa, but from Delhi, Prithvi Shaw, he's getting into the groove. I enjoy watching him bat. He has a lot of mistakes in him, but I really enjoy watching him bat, and hopefully he can do. But what Don said about Rishabh Pant, I think it's
Side time.
there's a lot of pressure on him. I feel it's a bit unfair, because he's
Of
done
course.
things for India and the country, even for IPL franchise, that no one has done. So I think you just have to back him at this time. We've seen last year someone like a Rahul Chahar. These guys had great starts to the IPL. They got picked for the World Cup and they all failed in the World Cup. So
Absolutely.
I think you need to back your players who have been in the team for a while now. And Rishabh Pant is someone who's feeling the pressure, because Dinesh Karthik is smashing it to all points. He's feeling the pressures, but I would like to see a big innings from him.
I think irrespective of if Karthik is the highest run scorer, also I think Pant is definitely going to that World Cup. It's just a matter of who's going to back him. I think the second wicketkeeper option. I think KL is an option. DK will still find it hard to get inside that
But the
squad.
thing is, there's a lot of options in DK, Ishan Kishan, and KL Rahul.
Ishan Kishan is now down the pecking order because of his performances recently. Because you have to look at options in terms of form as well to an extent. And Ishan, unfortunately, even Mumbai is struggling, but I think Ishan himself is also struggling.
Struggling a lot. Yeah.
You know what I would do at Asia Cup? Like pick those players who are in contention and put them in there.
Yeah.
Give players who are a certain, maybe like a KL Rahul, a rest, and then give DK all these guys opportunity and see how they perform. Because
That's a very good shout. Yeah.
IPL is not the best measure. Sometimes it could be, but it's not the best measure. We saw that last World Cup. Like it's
and bringing them together to play in an Indian jersey versus playing against each other also is important, just to see how they gel and everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And there's going to be different. I mentioned this to Punter as well. There's going to be 20 overs of constant pressure. Over here, you have 10 teams. There's like 2-3 weak spots. It's not going to be like that in the World Cup. Each team will have their best bowlers of the country. So you have to be a bit careful in that situation.
But then you have Rohit Sharma as captain now, not Virat Kohli. So DK might not get a chance anymore.
Who won the match?
DK.
I think Rohit is very good friends.
Rohit is good friends with them.
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan is his partner there, man. So,
Don't worry about that.
retention and everything. So
Yeah.
Especially after a poor season.
yeah.
It'll be interesting because, the narrative keeps changing every 2 months. First you say Ishan Kishan has to play. Now it's Dinesh Karthik has to play.
Absolutely.
So I think that Asia Cup will be a good indicator of who should actually play. It's very early to tell right now because things will change.
Our discussions will keep continuing also
Let's
on
continue
the
another 10 minutes.
2020
Yeah,
World
okay,
Cup.
let's
It's
continue.
time for to be in
Can you wear
these
your jersey, bro?
Bro, tomorrow for me, bro.
I
You
have to
guys chill
find it,
today. Apna lad lo aaj.
So
Musti, Vinay, you're going to wear United jersey or which jersey?
I have to search for my United jersey. I don't
search.
even know where
he's
it
supporting
is.
City now.
Supporting
Whoever's
City
on
now.
top of the table, he supports that team.
Okay.
Kaiku bichare, chodo, he's a United fan. Let's support United. Let's go.
Let's
I
go.
think all three can go now since Liverpool is the only team which is going to win today.
Bro,
But
I'm
great
not
talking
even
to you
playing
guys.
today.
See
What was a
you
good time to
after.
Huh?
Sorry, Punter. Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying it's time
Forgot,
to
lost chain of thought.
go offline and continue the discussion.
Yeah, no,
Good
I was.
talking to you guys. Musti,
Yeah.
final
No, I was
words.
just telling Don that it's a good time to take a nap now. 2 hours, you can sleep and.
Yeah, I mean, I know the result already, of the
Yeah.
game, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah.
I think Liverpool's gonna smash United.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
So thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you, Chapel
Take care.
Punter.
Until tomorrow.
Crazy
Yeah.
hosting.
Good
Crazy
job, Punter. Well done,
Good
Punter.
job.
Thank you, sir. We're all following in Don's footsteps. But yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good
मेरे को नहीं आता.
Let's go.
Chalo, right,
You
boys.
are the Crick Buzz, ESPN, Crick Info, Sport Kida all together, bro.
That's why nothing sitting. That's why sitting in Chicago and working as an analyst. That's why.
Branded.
Jack of all arts. Chalo. Right.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you,
See you
boys.
guys.